All right, all right. Hey, hey. Welcome back, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at a today's tarot topic for the 11th. Now, we will be celebrating the 11th more properly throughout the day as we get to some 111, or I should say 1111 videos for the zodiacs. But for right now, let's first take a little peek at this and just see how does the day begin. And we start out with, clearly this is a day that defines a change, right? We've got an Ace of Pentacles, which says it's a new day. It's things are going to be different, and we are drawing like a line in the sand between the past and the future, which could be fantastic. This could also be looked at as two different individuals that are actually running parallel to each other. So, we're could definitely be talking about hearts, about lovers, about people that, well, in this case, we have the star. I should mention the star is up here. And then we have the star very prominent on this Nine of Pentacles card. She has it as an amulet. She has it as a rattle. And she has it on the wall behind her. So I'm going to say that on the 1111 energy flow, we may have first and foremost a divine feminine who is like, I actually feel like I am resonating with who I am, with what my intentions are, and with what, I will do in my life. I am actually very confident right now. So I'm listening closely to my guides, and I have been listening to my innermost self, and everything fits together. Like who I am on the inside also is a reflection of who I am on the outside, also is a reflection of how I interact with my environment. So very powerful. And she's very connected to her guides. Okay, so let's take another look here, because remember we had two halves on that Ace of Sacred Circles. When it comes to romance and love, this could be a day where that's very, very possible at this point. Now, this could be either she is saying, I'm single and solo because what I realized is, someone that I loved belonged with someone else. And this is the day I accept that, I release that, I let that be, and I am completely content. It's also the day that I simultaneously recognize then that means that there's someone else out there for me. Now, that's one interpretation. This could also be that the universe is going to be intervening and bringing her into connection with someone that is right for her. And it is still, someone that she already had a connection to. I'm not sure yet. We have a King of Sacred Circles. Well, we definitely have a very powerful, divine masculine and divine feminine counterpart story. And bear in mind, it doesn't matter if we're actually talking about, women and men, but rather counterpart energies. So this could be same-sex couple, but they're in complementary energies to each other. Now, he is kind of like beating on that heartbeat drum. He seems to be really connected, in his mind. He is really thinking very heavily of where he wants to be, where he wants to give his time and energy. I'm thinking that we have a feminine who is solo and is said to herself, and perhaps with the wisdom of her guides, she has said, it is okay if he chooses to be with someone other than me. I let that be the case, and I accept universe. It's almost like she's talking to the universe saying, if he's meant to be with someone other than me, that's okay, universe. The only thing is, I don't know that he's meant to be with someone other than her, because we have this divine masculine, this King of Pentacles, that seems to be thinking of her. Can I get another card for him? Seven of Wands. He is like finding his energy and calling it from, his heart space upward. This is, for me, this is always when somebody like steps all the way into the inner temple, which is basically our heart. But that Seven of Wands is, somebody that is gravitating toward, unblocking, channels of energy. It's where we find a solution to a problem. Okay, can we go back over to her? With this Nine of Sacred Circles, our feminine, I want to know what the guide has been saying to her, because the bluebird is right there. Five of Wands. She's been heavily encouraged to like analyze something. Analyze what? I feel like she's done it anyway. I feel like she's done very good with it too. The Fool. It is about trusting and taking the leap of faith and letting things play out as they need to. So her encouragement from her guides has been analyze, the truth of the situation and be willing to be open to whatever is in your greatest and highest good. Have you been open to whatever is in your greatest and highest good? And I feel like on the 11th, we have a feminine who's like, I understand. So she had to do some inner work too with that 7 of Wands that she has now. She too had to find a way to get over an obstacle. I almost feel like she was, for a period of time, she was fighting against, an outcome, or fighting against accepting whatever is meant to be shall be. And now she's not. So on the 11/11 portal day, we have her just really listening to her intuition, her guides, and is really saying, I accept what is in my greatest and highest good. And then when we go back over to this masculine, he too is having a similar, getting over an obstacle, but that is in his case, it's him like listening to his heart and actually hearing what his heart is saying. So his guide is his heart. Her guide is something external to her in the form of that bird. So maybe there's an ancestor or something, whereas his answers had to come from his heart space. Can we go back over to him for a moment? Hang on, he should get his own deck. Let me go with this one for him. Tell me more about him. We have 4 of Cups. We have 8 of Swords. It's like he is able to look at the whole situation from his heart now, and he is realizing that there were regrets. This light bulb is going on. The problems that he thought he faced, I'll say with her, might have been things that he couldn't identify it before. As you are identifying things, what does that mean? Your heart is understanding something that you didn't understand before. That light bulb is going off. 3 of Cups. Let me get one more, because that could be something to do with, different relationships that he was in and how that clouded his mind. We have Hanged Man. He was intentionally delaying something because of previous connections, which that in turn impeded him being able to have a connection with, I'm going to say, this feminine that he really wanted to give to. It's as if he didn't realize that about himself. Maybe he thought she was the one on the fence, but instead I think he's realizing she was the one who's so confused by me, couldn't understand what was going on with me, couldn't understand where my head was at. And in this case, I don't think it was ever like he was trying to figure out who else he wanted to be with. I think he was really tangled up still because of past relationships and what had happened there and things that hadn't gone well. He might have even been bitter and not wanting to give ever again to a relationship. This could have been somebody where it's like, I'm in love with this feminine, but other feminines have hurt me, so I don't want to have a relationship with anyone. And he maybe didn't even know that. It almost feels like that's the big breakthrough here. His heart is being like activated, and that's in turn activating his mind. He's definitely finding a sense of peace that he did not have prior to now. So hang on, universe, what is the big message then for him? I mean, obviously, this is new beginnings for both people, right? Because we saw that Ace of Pentacles first. So everything's going to be different from here on out. And in particular, how two people interact with each other. And I'm very inclined to say this is the universe standing in front of both of them saying, okay, so both of you have a different perspective now, right? She's saying, look, whatever's in my greatest and highest good, I won't block that. He's over here saying, oh my God, the light bulb is going on. I was delaying because I kept thinking, like rehashing things or imagining things that I'd already been through. And that made me delay. That made me, drag my feet. That made me not able to move forward. I think that's the way I would interpret that. But actually, let me change. I don't think I want that deck for the clarity. Universe, what is your message just directly to him now? We've kind of seen what the situation is, but I want to know what the universe is saying to him. We have the moon. All the stuff he hid from himself is obviously crumbling. So he can't hide from himself what he knows anymore. Hierophant. There's something here about like he was either really scared because this is the person he wants to marry. And that's why it was like, I'm going to delay as long as I possibly can. I hope he wasn't out dating a bunch of other people, though, because I could see how that would really muddy the waters and maybe make her not want to be with you. But I don't know. That Three of Cups is the only reason. We've had Three of Cups twice, and we had the universe talking to them. A third energy doesn't have to be anything of like, I'm out dating other people. It could be the way I interpreted it first is he was delaying any serious commitment because he was still living through things that had happened in the past and unable to get beyond it and actually be able to just, build a relationship with her. It's like he had too much, too many memories still of past people that he dated to be able to just be in a balanced connection with her. And I think for the longest time, what he was hiding, or this is what the universe is saying, truth is what you were hiding is that you already knew she was the one that you wanted to marry. That's probably why it was particularly like, oh man, I had such bad experiences with other people. Then I meet her and she's the one I want to marry. And I'm still drowning in other people's memories. But here we have this Queen of Pentacles. It's like he wanted to save her for later. He's a King of Pentacles, realizing he always wanted to marry her. That's always been his Queen of Pentacles. But you notice how she's like this seed pod that hasn't yet been like planted and hasn't grown, even though it was like, I realized I always knew I wanted to marry her. I knew it from the very start. Okay, then universe, what do you have to say to her? Let's stick with this deck, actually, I think. We have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. We have the Knight of Wands upright. The universe is asking her to, first off, say, have you been running yourself ragged or ruminating and imagining worst case scenario? Oh, he probably was just somebody who was cheating on me all the time. Is that her great fear? Did she have like a feeling of low confidence because she'd been with someone who cheated on her like that, and so she doesn't have a lot of trust? That could be something. Ace of Wands, the universe says to her, know that the person that is your person, they will let you know that you are. There's a great song called Judy Moonlight, and the lyrics are, Judy, you were meant to be only with me, la-di-da-da. But it's a pretty song. And I feel like this is one of those messages where it's like the person who is really meant to be with you, they're not going to make you feel that way. You're going to be able to see that they are meant for you. They feel that way. You are the one they confidently choose, and they won't make you feel like that. Now, the problem that I see with this storyline is if this person in the past was intentionally withdrawing from her, they were in the Hanged Man energy, that King of Pentacles was in Hanged Man energy, didn't really want to move things forward with her because they were, even though she's the one they wanted to marry, they were still so tangled up with the memories of their exes and whatever had happened to them with exes, that she maybe felt pretty rejected. And I guess my question is, then is that the person that, she has to still interact with? Remember, the big encouragement to her is let things play out in whatever is in her greatest and highest good. And the other big message to her is release any idea that someone is out cheating on you or that someone who loves you will cheat on you. That's not going to be the case. She can let go of that worry and that fear. Again, there's a lot of like radical trust that's being, asked of her on the 11th, but we have a 10 of Wands. It's time for her to let go of that worry and let go of that fear completely. This is not that situation. The person that will be right for her won't do those things, and she doesn't have to be worried about that. She'll feel confident. She'll know that somebody is fully invested in her. Let's go back to our first deck. So what does that mean, universe, for the two of them? Prince of Cups. The universe is like, this, there is love coming in. Is it love for these two people? Are these two people that already interacted and now, he is on his way toward her? Or is this two people who've simply gone through their own experiences and now they're going to be meeting for the first time? Unfortunately, these are two that already interacted. I say unfortunately only because not everything has to be a reconciliation, right? But this particular story it's about two people who like something needs to be made right now. Because he is the one coming forward, it appears he is the one who needs to make things right with her. And if he's the one who held back once upon a time, yeah, and there was a lot of wasted time here, because the Wheel of Fortune is missing a big old chunk of it because of my doggy when he was a pup. But it says no more wasted time. So the biggest thing here is like the procrastination, the withdrawal, because it does feel like this was a situation where somebody withdrew from a connection, not because they were unhappy, but because they knew that that was the person they would marry. And they weren't ready for any of that. So they ran from it. They hid from it. They withdrew from it without fully even being able to understand why they did that, is what I think that card says. Can we go back to that so I better understand that? Because there's something here about, the light bulb is now going on in their own head. The Lovers. She was the one that they wanted. And it's like let me just ask, with that Three of Cups that we saw, we've got Queen of Pentacles. It didn't even matter. There wasn't anybody else that they ever wanted. It was always her. It's always been her. But is that what triggered them? Because they were like, I have fallen in love before, and then it didn't turn out good at all. And now here I meet her, and she's the one that I know that I want. And I'm like, oh my God, that triggers me into thinking, yeah, and then what comes next is disaster. So I don't want to do this. Can I go back and just get one more card to clarify that Hanged Man with all those delays? King of Pentacles and the Sun. They were so scared that they were going to get it wrong. That what if it's not true? What if she doesn't really want me? What if she couldn't want me? Not really, because I never end up happy. So I'm sure I'm wrong about her. I'm sure I'm wrong about us. I'm sure I'm wrong about this. There was never a time when he didn't actually know that she was the one for him, except he told himself, but I never get a happy ending. So it couldn't possibly be that we'll be good together. That's just not the way it could work, because I've never had that. I don't end up happy. So by denying the ability to be happy, that is why he was withdrawing, holding back, staying away. And that's also why there's some stuff to make up for, because there was never a reason to do that other than his own fears, worries, thoughts, pre-programming. And that's why she is being asked, don't think about, oh, but he's probably coming back and he cheated on me and dated all these other people, and now he's coming back. I don't want that. I don't want to even find that out. And the universe is like, don't start thinking about that. Situations are way more complicated than you would imagine. Clean your mind and clean the slate, and consider, if you don't know what happened, don't tell yourself the worst story you can possibly imagine about it. Instead, remember, trust in the universe and allow things to unveil themselves. She doesn't have to say yes to this person, of course not. But the story is a heck of a lot better than the one she had been telling herself. So it says, just be open to a different story than what you think it might be. All right, I'm going to leave this here. I will do a little message for a birthday that's for the 11th, and I'll put a free link right there in the description box. Thank you guys for being here. Lots of love. Bye.